walked up and just grabbed me right in the ass and then walked away mumbling.
What did you do?
She was like, I've been missing many men. I just went, ah! I don't know the language, what am I going to say? And I was going to yell mean things at her, but then I realized she wouldn't understand me. It was horrible. Yeah, I had very bad experiences in Paris. I'd like to go back. Hint, hint. As he shakes
death in his eyes.
I remember every place I've been. I don't know. Greece was awesome. I went to Greece with a school. It was the same kind of thing though, school trip. There was about 35 or 40 of us. It was a lot. And I found myself constantly straying from the group and trying to, get away. Like they would all go listen to the speaker, tour guide or whatever, go talk. And I was always like, I remember we went up to the Temple of Poseidon in Greece, and the whole group in Greece.
You said Greece.
In Greece. I'm Scottish now. And we went up to the top, and this whole group went over to listen to the tour guide talk about some structure that was at the Tower of the Seven Maidens or Seven Virgins or something like that. And there was a spot where you could sit, and it was covered in flowers, and you were overlooking the Aegean, the Mediterranean, and the Celtic Sea, maybe the Atlantic Ocean, I'm not sure. You could see 3 oceans, basically 3 seas were there, and they all met at this one spot, and it was Poseidon's temple. I just remember sitting there alone, looking out. That was like the most memorable moment of that whole trip. I still have that image captured in my mind, and I could smell Greece in the bottom of my backpack when I got back for
awesome.
Like a year. I just remember opening my backpack in my closet and sticking my head in it. It smelled like Delphi, which is where one of the places we visited. It was a really beautiful trip.
I have to finish my story not on a negative. I have to give a positive.
Okay.
Now that you give such a positive experience, I feel a little insecure.
Okay, go ahead.
We did get to play the band that I went over there with to London. We got to play in the crypt of St. James Cathedral. Not St. Paul,
awesome.
but St. James Church. Maybe it's St. James Church.
You played what?
In the crypt. I was in a band. For all of my... I've looked. You can't find us anywhere on the internet. But
I wouldn't challenge them. They find things that I don't even know exist.
I was in a band, our youth group. We had a band called No Superstar. And we went over to No Superstar. And we went over to England and we played, and we had like a couple of original songs. We put out this little CD, and we pretty much took like all of the church songs of the day, and we turned them into ska songs. So it was really fun. But
this the lullaby.
Yeah, just like that. Okay, that's my little guitar.
What is that, a banjo?
No, you're playing air beats.
Oh, okay. You're playing up here like a ukulele.
So it was really great. I mean, it was one of the coolest things I think I've ever done with them.
That's awesome.
We played in the crypt of an old church that was bombed. They had to rebuild a lot of it during World War II.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty fascinating.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, positive.
Are you guys practical jokers?
I wish I'm a terrible practical joker. Chantel will tell you this. If you ever watch an interview with Chantel and she's talking about me playing a practical joke on her, this is what I did. She had ordered apples from craft services, and they put the apples and peanut butter on her chair with a little piece of foil over it. And she was on set doing her scene. So I walk over, and there's a whole group of everybody, and I'm like, I'm going to play a practical joke on her. So I pick it up, and I bite all the apples. I bite a piece out. But instead of biting, how an apple is shaped like that, instead of biting it this way, I just bit it like sideways. So it just looked like they were just broken apples all in her bowl. And she got back, and she sat down, and she started eating it, and like, everybody's just watching her and waiting. It's totally anticlimactic. She was like, it just looks like my apples were broken. What? I suck at practical joking. I'm not smart enough for that. You're not much of a practical joker. I haven't seen you do that.
No,
I bet you'd be better at it than I am, though. You probably come up with good stuff.
I've never tried, actually. The closest to a practical joke I have done is participating in one against you, where we scared the living shit out of you.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
That's right. You really need to put a PG-13 rating on this.
Sorry about
That's
that.
not on network
That's not on
television.
network
You
television.
can't say that on TV.
Oh, the snot falls down, or mind. In
You
Canada,
can't do that on television.
Yeah, you can't do that on television.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends kept telling me all week about
Dummy.
a guy that was really scary and horrible, and it turned out to be a ventriloquist dummy. But
It was really funny.
yeah, the way they presented it to me was like, hey, I'm going to show you a picture of this really scary guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, but it had been built up. It's really not interesting. Anyway, I jumped out of my skin and said very bad words.
I like to scare people. I don't like to play practical jokes on them, but I really like to scare people.
It's good.
Like, I'll stand outside. I'll stand outside a door and I will wait for like 5 minutes. If you're in the bathroom,
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
whatever.
You've done that to me a few times.
Yeah, I'll like
Yeah.
hide behind a corner and I'll wait for somebody to walk out and I'm like, hello.
Those are always the most scary. Is when somebody's like right behind you and they're just standing there and you're like,
I think it's funny though, Joy, because you used to say that nobody could ever practical joke you. And it's true. Actually, and with all our friends, you're the one who gets practical jokes
I know,
the
I
most.
get joked all the time. That was you that did it to me. Tracy did this practical joke when we were at a restaurant. And I said,
yes!
Tracy, can you, this is how long have I known you? Like 3 years maybe?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, I've known her like 10 now. And I was like, Trace, can you just watch my muffin for me? Because this is a delicious muffin. Coco's, was that the restaurant?
Yeah.
Coco's in California.
Good
It's on
memory.
the
CC's.
CC's?
Oh,
I think
that's
it's Coco's.
Really?
Anyway, they have these amazing muffins. And I said, Trace, I have to go back and can you watch my muffin, make sure nobody eats it? Because everybody was eating. It was like a huge table full of friends and everybody's eating each other's food. And I didn't want people to eat my muffin. So Tracy, I came back and I was like, Trace, where's my muffin?
There's only a couple of little crumbs left on the plate.
And I put butter on my
She had butter and like crumbs on her lip, and she's deadpan. Was like, what muffin? I was like, did you eat my muffin? She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were giving it to me. I didn't realize you wanted me to hold it. She had it wrapped in a napkin under the table. And me later, I couldn't believe it.
That was awesome. Good times. Okay, do you two get stage fright or forget lyrics on stage? If so, how do you cope with it?
I have stage fright for sure. I have total fear of like public speaking and all that kind of stuff. But I'm okay in doing theater because it's lines and music stuff that's already been written. So it's like I don't have to be me, which is scary for me. Like this right now, scary for me. So
You're doing great.
yeah, so, I mean, yeah, I definitely, crowds make me nervous when I have to be me, because there's like an expectation, like, entertain me! I'm not that entertaining, I don't think, unless you can write it for me. To forget lyrics. Yeah, I forgot lyrics once, it was terrifying, it was bad. You just had to start the song over.
Yeah. I don't get stage fright so much.
No, you're great with crowds.
I don't know why though. It's so weird. Like even I took public speaking in high school and I loved
Really?
it. I was like, get me in front of there. I'll give you a speech. But I do forget lyrics. Like because nothing is scripted here, I will have wine, but I have a rule that I won't drink before I play anywhere because I forget things.
You forget lyrics and
I
stuff.
forget lyrics. Yeah. One time I was playing a show. I was like 18. I was playing a show somewhere in LA, and I could not remember the words to this song. And it was my song. I wrote it.
It's been
I can't remember it. And you're like, and I sat there for like probably 20 seconds, like just playing, and I was like, I'm going to the next song. I can't remember the words.
Oh my gosh.
They completely.
Oh
blanked.
no. And
So-
the whole crowd was like, we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
I'm
happening?
like, sorry, everybody. Moving to the next
Oh,
song.
no. Well, what else can you do?
Yeah,
though,
that's true.
You know?
Yeah. So I went to the next song.
Yeah.
But I mean that happens. I think, especially when you get busier and you're doing so many different things. It's like I also have another rule. I will never like read lyrics off of a page
Oh yeah, she doesn't do this. Even when we're writing, she won't do this.
because I won't remember the words.
Yeah.
So I have to commit it to memory or.
and the chords.
Chords,
The guitar
yeah.
chords too.
Yeah, I never write them down.
Yeah.